Welcome to Randy's Corner, and I'm your host, Randy Clark. And today I got a special guest with me. This is Dr. Jonathan Douglas. We're going to be talking pickleball today. But first of all, I got one job announcement to make. And this for the Civil Service Board announces examination for building instructor. Building inspector. This is a structural building inspector. This is a position to fill the present and future position of the building inspector. Written exam will be conducted at time and place set by the Civil Service Board. You get an application at the Human Resources on second floor of the Sylacauga Municipal Complex at 301 North Broadway in Sylacauga. Starting salary for this job is $46,547. And you can either go and talk to Miss Jane McGee at Human Resources. This is where you'll fill your application out. Or you could talk to Mr. Mike Whetstone and find out exactly what all this job entails. Okay, now, good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Sorry about that, but I wanted to spend the whole time talking about pickleball, the fastest growing sport in America, right?
That's correct. It's the fastest growing in Sylacauga.
We're catching up with them right here in Sylacauga.
It's true. We're doing it.
We've got a special event coming up July the 15th, which is this Saturday, and it's from 10 to 4. And could you explain what all's going to go on that day? It's at the tennis courts here in Sylacauga.
Sure, and if you haven't been out there to see, the tennis courts are lined for pickleball now. 4 of them are. Heritage South has been so nice to sponsor a tournament. We're going to have that August 26th, and we'll talk about that coming up. But before we have the tournament, we wanted to have an open to the public day where people could come and become comfortable with pickleball and maybe decide, hey, I'm brave enough to try this tournament, because this is going to be a so low entry point kind of a tournament. This is a beginning point for us to try this.
Right.
So July 15th, we're going to have instruction. We're going to have you be able to play games, meet people that are playing pickleball. It's just going to be a very social, low-key kind of event to get people introduced to the game.
Right. Could you kind of break it down? I know it's from 10 to 4, right?
That's correct.
Could you kind of break it down maybe by hour of what's going to go on in case somebody can't stay the whole time and
Sure.
they want to come to a certain part?
Sure. So we have plans for Court 1 to be the instruction court for brand new beginners. So if you show up and you've never touched a paddle, I'll be on Court 1. I'm going to show you how to hold the paddle, how to hit the basic strokes, okay? Court 2 is going to be Randy, and Randy's going to be helping us with beginning of scoring, how you actually do the mechanics of a game. And people can float back and forth. So if they're struggling, they're like, boy, I'd like to go back and hit more forehands, come back over to Court 1. We're going to have fun. So it's going to be just a flow, and we're going to have to see, if a big group shows up, we're going to have to modify things, but that's the plan. And then as you get comfortable with some of the beginning scoring, then courts 3 through 6 are going to be established players, and we're going to cycle you over there and let some of the established players show you what it looks like to play a real game, and to give you the opportunity to be on the court with some better players that also know how to play with beginners. And so we're going to make sure it's not intimidating, but that you do see how it flows in a real game versus not. And again, if you're not ready for that, then you can just move right back over, and we can just work on drills, and we can just work on game strokes, and it's whatever it wants to be. But we really just want people to be introduced to pickleball. There's our flyer right there. We want people to just come out and have fun. You don't need any equipment. We just invested in paddles. Parks and Rec is really supporting this, where we got new paddles coming. We got new balls that are going to be out there. You just need to have some shoes that are appropriate for the court and bring some water, and we're ready to go.
Right. And could you tell now, I view pickleball in 3 different categories. And everybody's different on these 3 categories. But to me, number 1 is fun. We're having a blast.
It's about smiles out there. It really
It is.
That's
It
the main
really
thing.
is. And
Yes.
we have such a good time.
We do.
Number 2 is exercise.
That's true.
And then number 3 to me is the competitive side.
That's correct.
But that's the way I view pickleball in order right there.
That's correct.
I love the fun and the exercise, but I can get competitive.
Yeah, and it's all of the above. I feel like the purpose of a Parks and Rec department, especially the tennis center, is that we're trying to create smiles and fun, number one, and exercise, number two. I feel like if we're doing that, then the competitive level is way down. But on this tournament, I mean, you're going to see that we do have some competitive players. But on this July 15th, this Saturday, this is going to be just get introduced to it. You've even thought about pickleball. Just come try it. I mean, it is not going to be intimidating to come out there. If you've never touched a paddle, this is what a pickleball paddle looks like. If you've literally never touched one, in 30 minutes, we can have you hitting balls.
Sure,
I guarantee.
we can.
In tennis, it takes months. But in pickleball, 30 minutes, we can have you playing. In an hour, you're going to understand the scoring and how to do the game. And then even if you never come and play with us, you just want to play with friends, at least you've been introduced and you're not afraid of it anymore.
And we have no age limit.
No,
Well, we've got little ones out there.
we do.
Can you take just for a minute? I know you was on vacation last week down
was.
in Gulf Shores. Could you tell them about the 80-year-old guy right quick?
Yeah, so I played in the highly competitive league down there, and we have an 80-year-old guy that showed up, Bill. And man, Bill was just tough. He really was. He'd been playing for since the 70s. He's been doing this, tennis and some pickleball. But he had a serve we couldn't return. He played singles against a 16-year-old and held his own because he was preparing for a tournament. And he'll come play pickleball for 3 hours and then go play 4 hours of basketball at his gym. But again, the thing about it is if you play racket sports and you're on the court moving like that, your chance of heart attack and other cardiovascular, your risk is so low in comparison to others. And so he's really an example of that. And I asked him what his secret was. He said he eats collard greens twice a week. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what Bill said.
He must be from the South.
He is from the South.
Okay, now, some people think that there's a lot of, I call it a low impact sport. Am I right?
Yeah, it's available for people. You'll see a lot of people out there that have tennis-related injuries. They can't get around the tennis court anymore. Tennis, there's a lot of running, a lot of running. Pickleball is mainly up and down, and you see people that have mobility issues that are really good pickleball players. But mainly, again, it's just about fun and exercise. So if you're able to get out there and move, then you will get stronger and you will get better, but you just need to try it.
Right. I'm so glad that you about made it explode. You know, last time I had you on, we was talking about your agility course. Would you mention that maybe just for a minute?
Yeah, the agility is going great. We've got all kinds of athletes out there, and they're just killing themselves in the heat running drills. Yesterday, we did it with our tennis team. They showed up. I said that today is running day. Oh my gosh, they complained, but they loved it. And so footwork is so much a component, and I really want to build an adult pickleball kind of an agility course also, so that adults can do some lesser kind of things, but also begin to get faster, because balance is what ages us. And if you get out there, your balance gets better, and you literally take years off of your chronological age by playing something like pickleball.
Right. You know, and I want to speak just for a minute about Jonathan's tennis lessons. I come out the other day and I watched this little girl. And when you first started, she had no idea what she was doing.
That was her first day.
And by the time you got through with her, it amazed me how good she was hitting the ball.
Yeah. What we do is we do a lot of fun things. So if you come out, you might see there's a unicorn on the court or a dragon. I've got these pool floats. Kids are so excited about things that look like a game. So we make it into this fun game, and then we work the skills in secondarily. So I make sure when they leave that they feel really supported and that they love being on the court, and that they also, you know, we sneak these hard things in where they don't even realize they're doing it. But that little girl's on fire about tennis. She came again yesterday, and I mean, she loves it. So
if you're thinking about putting your child in tennis, go down and talk to Jonathan. You can either talk to him at the tennis courts or talk to him at Broadway Spinal Care. He's there all day, and he gets at the tennis courts about 6 o'clock at night and starts there. Now, before we go, I want to, and I hope to get you back on before then, but August the 26th is our inaugural pickleball tournament.
That's correct.
And it's something that all the other cities has already been doing, but we're fixing to start, right?
That's right, and Heritage South is really supporting this. We're going to have all kinds of sponsors for it. We have a cooling tent, It's going to be a big event out there. And again, big event doesn't mean be intimidated. This is going to be high competition. If you've never played in a tournament, come on out and try it. There's nothing scary about this. If you lose, you lose, but you learn something. And mainly it's going to be about fun.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
I mean, I'm still learning.
we got some folks that's been playing with us for a few years. And like a lot of us, we started our Sylacauga Pickleball Club, the last week in January. 1st of February?
Right.
And I'm still learning.
Everybody's learning.
Right.
Come on out and learn with us.
That's right. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming in
Thank you.
this morning. And don't forget, Tuesday night at the tennis courts, we're playing pickleball. That's tonight from 5 to 8. Come on out. Wednesdays, we play in Chillersburg inside the rec from 5 to 8 on Mondays and Thursdays. But tonight is Sylacauga. Come on out. And please do not litter. And we'll see you next week.